Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Dylan, and we're talking video games. They finally announced, like 80 games were announced a year ago, and now we're finally seeing gameplay on some of this stuff.
Yeah, we did. Didn't we do like a video when some Avengers thing was announced? It was like, we're doing games here now, and then
we're gonna move PSG games over here, and nothing has been announced since then.
Nobody talked about
Nothing.
anything.
So we finally got gameplay footage of Gotham Knights. We're getting to see the game in action. The game is coming out this year. I have pre-ordered it with the statue. Of course I have.
What statue is it?
It's all four of them, just kind of posing.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat.
So it's probably going to be really cheap and crappy and hollow, but whatever, I'll take it.
Listen, it's not your $600 sideshow collectible.
I'm sorry that I'm so much more classier than you should see this stuff.
Some of
behind
us just have nonsense.
I know. I can see your background.
Listen,
you got to theme
that hamburger
things,
sign was $10 at a.
You need to theme your stuff better, Dylan. You got to.
What do you mean? This isn't themed?
No, the theme is random. You are the Joker. You're an agent of chaos.
I'm sorry I don't have 40 different statues behind me.
You should.
If people, when you get the new camera, people will see all of your fun little comic books and stuff back there.
So, all right. So Gotham Knights gameplay came out. I'm mostly excited about this, but I do have some hesitation. Okay?
Yeah, me too.
The biggest backlash I'm seeing, other than some stuff I'm sure we're going to talk about, like magic and hang gliders, but the biggest backlash, the biggest backlash I'm seeing is the loot system. And I'm slightly concerned about that, but I also like that because of the longevity. See, the problem is when you don't have a loot system, Dylan, you and I are going to sit down, play the game, and be done with it, and that's the end of the game. But a loot system kind of implies they have longer-term plans, but I don't want this to be like Marvel's Avengers level live service. So
yeah, that's the thing is like, what's wrong with playing a game once and then not playing it again? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there isn't. We've got
Spider-Man
4
and
Batman
Miles
games in this playstyle. There's 4 Batmans that do this. So,
but this is different. You get 4 different playstyles, and that's the other thing is like the marketing is like kind of confused as to what this game is because. It's the same problem Avengers had, where Avengers didn't just come out and say, this is what the game is. It's a live service game, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Because they were so... The marketing with, like, the single player and the campaign was and they wouldn't, actually...
The issue with the marketing is that basically what they're saying is, we don't want to piss off the live service people. We don't want to piss off the single player adventure people. We don't want to piss off the Battle Royale people. So we're just going to muddy the waters and everyone thinks it's the game they want.
Exactly. And that's like the new strategy that like Avengers employed that too. Like nobody knew what the hell the game was until people were able to play it in the beta tests, and then we're like, oh, okay, this is what the game is. And I think what the game is it's like Spider-Man PS4, but with 4 different characters and a loot system for some reason. I think that's what's happening here.
I think the loot system there is to add more co-op elements because, like, if you look at it, Nightwing at one point has this ability. He's got, like, anti-poison gear. So I feel like it's going to be like, oh, Dylan, I got my poison build. Let's go fight the poison boss. That's the kind of co-op gameplay they're going for.
Which is, like, I don't know. Like, you can't really have like a game that's straddled between 2 different versions of itself. It just ends up becoming, like, a not so good version of 2 different games. It's like pick a lane. I don't know.
But the lane could be loot. I mean, look at Tiny Teen and Borderlands. That could just be what they're going for.
But that's what those games are all about. Like they have a story, but you want to like get more guns, and you're constantly getting a flow of guns and everything.
Yeah.
But, like
why can't
in Avengers,
we have that with Batman?
Well, you can. But the reason it didn't work with Avengers because they tried that. They tried to have the 2 different things. Is like the loot kind of feels meaningless until you reach extreme endgame, in which case it's just a numbers game, which is not very fun for a lot of people. And it's not very fun specifically for the people who are there just for the single player campaign, which is non-existent now because
a game
they
that
devoted
did
so much resources to the other stuff.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out with this loot system, and it was so universally panned. They removed it. You could just play the game like a normal game. And I enjoy that version much better because they built in a loot system for no reason. And I feel like Marvel's Avengers was too focused on, okay, we got to make Endgame interesting. So the loot grind is what's going to be interesting in Endgame. And they forgot like we need levels and things to do.
Right. And that's what I'm worried about with this game is like it seems like it's being pulled in a lot of different directions. Just at its base level is like you're gonna make a Batman game but with 4 different characters. Okay. Now you're being pulled in 4 different directions now. And then you add loot on top of it, which like I don't even care specifically about the loot itself. Like at least in this game, it looks like the loot changes your appearance, which is better than Avengers.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My main problems with this gameplay reveal is the animations look pretty rough, and the combat looks really like light, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. Like it feels like hits don't connect, and it feels kind of loose,
floaty.
Which is not
like a floaty combat.
Yeah,
system.
floaty. It feels very floaty, which I don't like. Like seeing Nightwing.
I didn't get that
vibe
from the combat. When they explained the combat, I got excited about it because they said it's a momentum system. Because like the problem with like Arkham Knight and Arkham City and Arkham Asylum is that the games in general are they're good, but you're not rewarded for continual combos to make it better. It doesn't increase my damage. It doesn't increase what I'm doing. I can mess up, get back into the combo. Other than seeing the combo number go up, it doesn't matter. But they state that the way this one works is that it's supposed to be the bigger your momentum is, the bigger that hit's going to be. So it builds up more and more momentum. I like that idea.
That's cool. And I think that's really interesting, and they do stuff like that in the Spider-Man games. But like I think it is just the animations being kind of stiff and coupled with the combat, and maybe it's just the person playing it is bad at the game. But to me, it looks like the strings didn't seem interesting. Like in Spider-Man, you're whipping around, you're doing constant and the game looks as cool as you can make it look. But in this game, it seems like you have a few options. Like you counter, you punch. Like you do a takedown if you can, and it's like I don't know it. And this is just from seeing it. It might feel fantastic, and that's the thing about a video game is you can look at a trailer for it. Playing it is a completely different experience. So I don't know. I could be crazy.
It's a weird decision to make because they're also not really showing the story. They're just showing gameplay, which is just 2 people going around Gotham beating up stuff, and I'm down with that. I like that idea. And I like the idea of loot is to give us a reason to go around and beat up things. I feel like that's the purpose of the loot. Because what's the point of beating up the thugs in Arkham City? Nothing.
Because you want to play the game. I don't know.
Well, and I agree. But I feel like they're trying to do a carrot on the stick. Like, why would you beat up all the thugs in the city? We're gonna put a lot of random stuff in the city, a lot of open world stuff. We need a reason for you to want to do it.
I think like this comes back to Spider-Man for me. Like there have been times in Spider-Man where like the combat is so fun and the traversal is so fun that even after beating the game and there's no actual reward for me to play the game anymore, aside from just having fun, like that's why I go and play that game. I don't need like +10 to poison damage.
I agree with you on that one. I mean, there's a reason why I go back to Marvel's Avengers because I enjoy the combat, not the loot. I don't like the loot system. I go back because I enjoy the combat with my characters. I'm back on Spider-Man right now because I enjoy the combat of Spider-Man. And even the Arkham games, I do go back and play because the combat is fun. And I feel like this looks fun to me. I know you disagree, but this does look fun to me. I don't feel like they need to do the loop, but I feel like you said, they're getting pulled in different directions. They're like, well, someone said we need to have a carrot on the stick. And I'm like, or you just really make a solid game.
Yeah, just like focus in on, and that's the thing is like we still don't know really what they're trying to do. Is like if they're trying to make a single player like Arkham style Batman game where you can play as 4 different characters, that's cool. But like those games don't need live service elements to keep people around because they play them for the story. They play them for the experience of going through them. And like I don't really even like the Arkham games that much. I played Arkham Asylum and I played half of Arkham City. I don't like Arkham City. But that's mostly because I don't like the combat. But I know that the story is a lot of fun.
Right.
So, like, that's what I want to be here for. Especially, like, if the story's good and well acted and well animated, which I don't know. It's too early to tell. Then I don't mind. I don't mind if the combat isn't that great. I might not play it all the way through. But
other than that, everything just looks like an Arkham game. Just like, but they're just trying to make it multiplayer. Like I'm rewatching it as we're doing this.
So is this is the one that's in the Arkham universe or no?
No, this is the one that isn't, which is weird because the one that is supposed to be Suicide Squad.
Right. I was confused on that because and there's also like story like did we know that Batman was dead? He probably not, but like did we know that going into this trailer?
They said that he was going to be dead. Well, and that's what makes it feel like this is the follow to the Arkham universe because
Right,
Batman's
exactly.
dead in that, like, or supposed to be dead. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't think he's dead in this. I was I was honestly thinking that like I have a feeling that the Court of Owls just has him somewhere, and they like reveal like a
most
guy
likely, yeah.
there. Maybe he's a Talon or something. I don't know, but I feel like that's going to be a major.
He'll
plot
be the
point.
Arkham Knight. They'll bring him back. Let's talk about the actual character models. Nightwing, okay, looks passable. It does look like a last generation game right now. The actual models, the graphics.
I'm glad you agree with that because it does look. It looks worse than Avengers.
Yeah, it does. And why is Red Hood look like he's like Bane? What is up with that? Why is he
massive.
like? What's going on, Dick?
Nightwing walks around like that too. Why does he walk around like this? Like when he's out of costume, his arms are like 5 feet away from his chest.
Are they?
Why does he look like that?
I go back to that scene.
Go look in the scene before he talks to Red Hood.
Oh yeah, he's like
he's walking like this.
I don't know why they're like that. I don't know what. I do not understand why Red Hood has to be like the size of Bane just to make them look
massive.
different. Like they haven't looked different in 20 years.
You know, what do you think about, you're a big Red Hood fan. Do you think he's being characterized well in this?
No. Well, he is in the costume because he's got a lot of options as a costume.
Sure. Yeah. What do you think? This is something I wanted to ask you because you mentioned this earlier with the traversal thing where Red Hood just jumps around with magic. I know that is a thing in the comics, but like
for like
why?
one arc, it's like one
yeah, exactly.
arc.
It's like 5 issues.
The concept of the New 52 is that he has the all-cast blades that he fights against the Untitled. And he uses it for like 6 to 12 issues, and that's like out the window. And then they do one quick visit of the mystical arts. But he's not like double jumping across the map. What about Nightwing with his like jumping. Fortnite glider? He's like, all right, boys,
that I believe a little bit more. But it's just they just gave up. They're just like, I don't know, make Red Hood be able to jump forever. It's like, well, that's boring. Maybe design a world that's more suited to these characters. Like, Spider-Man works in swinging stuff. That's why Arkham Asylum is so good, because it's just levels. You just go through levels as Batman, and then it gets to Arkham City, and it's so open. It's like, I don't know.
But he has the grappling hook, and they're all Bat family members. That should be fine.
Sure.
What is the complaint? Oh, man, every Bat family member has a grappling hook. No shit.
Yeah, of course they do. Like they would, but not all of them have capes. Family. So only 2 of them have capes.
I feel like they're not showing those 2 because the capes physics aren't down right yet. I think that's
they're not done. I hope that all the animations aren't locked because they don't look good.
Yeah, it's a weird decision. A lot of the stuff that's going on in this, I'm going to play it. I am excited for it. But it's going to be a question of, is this going to be something that I play once and be done with, or am I going to like go back to ever?
Mm-hmm. Which I don't even know if that's like
back to the Arkham games.
Right. And I know that that's important for you because you play a lot more live service games, but I'm very happy just to play like I tried, for example,
I don't mean as a live service. I mean, is the game going to be good enough that I want to replay it?
I'm saying like you're more likely to return to games because you play so many live service games. But like there's games having replayability, I feel like is a criticism, or like not having replayability is a fair criticism you can make, but I don't think it's the end all be all like a lot of people talk about.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And I think for a game like this, if it is just a single player like story focused campaign, I'll probably just play it once and that's fine. Like I tried to go back and play God of War recently, and that game's combat is great, but getting into it is really slow because it's so front loaded with story, and there's so much story in that game that it's a fantastic story, but like at that point the combat is great, but it's not great enough for me to want to sit through all the story again. Like, I'd rather just watch a movie, you know?
But like, I do agree with you on that, because I do wish some of those games had skip buttons.
Yeah. Which I think it does, but I also, I don't know. I don't want to skip the story because the combat's so, like, few and far between. I should just play, like, the arena mode, which I know it has in Muspelheim, but that's specific to God of War. But yeah, Avengers is good for that, because like a direct comparison to this game, because it does have a lot of fun combat. But I think burnt out of that game because they didn't add anything to do around the fun combat.
No, that's the problem. That's the issue. I even go back now and I'm like, that was cool.
Yeah, play like one mission and be like, I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah. So do you think this is going to be an Avengers like live service, or do you think they're just taking Arkham Knight co-op and making it like Borderlands?
I think the way that they're describing it, because they only said co-op and they only showed 2 characters playing at once.
Right.
So I think it's just going to be like, it is a Spider-Man-like single-player open world experience that you can also play with another person and switch between different characters, which I think is cool. I just hope it doesn't get muddied by the trends of today, which is live service everything. Play this game until you die.
I don't know. I pulled up the old footage to see the alpha footage of Batgirl and Timmy. Yeah, the capes are a little wonky, so it's probably...
They're still working on it. They've got 6 months or
Well,
something,
they pushed it back.
so-
It's got it comes out the end of this year now, so they got some time to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
But the loot system, it's weird. Like I agree with you. I wish it would just be like, hey, we're doing... No, this is like a straightforward game with loot, and we're going to do DLC, or is this a live service? You're going to have to log in. Like tell us what we're getting into.
Right, yeah, that too.
I just want to know what I'm buying. Like
Exactly.
I pre-ordered it. I got it. I got the game locked down. What am I
know
playing?
why they do it, because they don't. It's people like us. It's like you like live service games more than I do. So if they confuse the marketing, they are more likely to get both of our sales instead of just saying, hey, it is a live service game and then you lose me, or say, hey, it is a single player game and potentially lose you. It's like, no, now they get everyone because nobody knows what the hell the game is. It's like, just tell me what the game is.
I mean, even in these videos, they're just showing combat and loot. That's all they're showing.
Right.
We're not seeing anything
And
else.
a couple cutscenes. So yeah, there are cutscenes. So it's like, who knows? Stay tuned.
No, we'll keep you up to date as we get more information. Thank you for watching. We are absolutely Marvel and DC. We talk about the movies, the shows, the video games. We talk about it all in a podcast format on a regular basis. I hope you guys would join us and hear us talk about all the movies and stuff going on. And we'll see you next time.